Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special session today at this point, tackling the broader and global finance perspective. Our speaker is none other than the chairman of the International Association of Financial Executives Institute and the Regional CFO Europe of NIFCO Incorporated, Mr. Tsutomu Mannari.
Thank you very much for the kind introduction. Good afternoon, distinguished guests, esteemed members of FINEX, and fellow financial executives. It is an honor to be here today as the chairman of IAFEI, International Association for Financial Executive Institute. And I thank FINEX President Mr. Augusto Bengzon, Vice President for External Affairs, Ms. Mignon Ramos, and all FINEX members for inviting me to the 56th Annual FINEX Week Conference and giving me an opportunity to make my speech. Talking about the relationship between IAFEI and FINEX, I would like to thank Ms. Conchita Manabat for her dedication and contribution to IAFEI as the chair of advisory committee. She has been leading and supporting IAFEI activities for many years, even after I became to be a chairman of IAFEI, beginning of this year. We have conducted 2 webinars about enhancing corporate value through HR balance sheet management. I'm so glad to see so many audiences attending our both webinars from Philippines. I appreciate so much about your positive participation to our IAFEI activities. We are conducting IAFEI webinar on October 8th, which is organized by Mr. James Pascal, a chairman of Technical Working Group on Digitalization in IAFEI. He invites Mr. Elter Simon, Senior IT Director for Global Infrastructure, New York University, and Mr. Emil Quaimbao, Partner, AI and Data, Deloitte Consulting, Netherlands. As you can see, I would like to encourage all of you to attend this webinar titled Finance 4.0, AI and Digitalization Journey, because you can learn ideas not only from Asia, but also from EU and USA. So there are some ideas I would like to touch today, maybe a little bit different from the introduction about my speech. And I already touched digitalization by introducing the webinar. The second one is sustainability. Of course, I want this planet to be sustainable. For what? I believe this globe cannot be sustainable without human-centered society. Mr. Hiroshi Yaguchi, chairman of JCFO Association, introduced HR balance sheet, which is similar to financial balance sheet. In this HR balance sheet, in the right-hand side is employees, the capital, human capital, and the left-hand side is human asset. Then the question will be, who invests on what? in this HR balance sheet? Answer is employees. Employees invest their precious time to the company, or maybe students invest their precious time to the university. Without these investors, company cannot exist nor survive. Left-hand side is human asset. If company can enhance its human asset value, the human capital value or individual human value increase on the right-hand side. How can we increase human asset value? Maybe by providing training, coaching to increase motivation. Before answering this question, let us look at the situation in Japan and the Philippines. As you can see on the left-hand side on the graph, Japan had been top among these 5 countries from 1990 to 2000. It is GDP per capita. However, it kept decreasing from 2000 and reached the same level as the OECD average in 2014. Then keep declining toward 2023. Currently, it is far below the OECD average. Japan growth is only 1.3 times OECD average, and other countries more than 2 times. What happened? I can see the similarity in Philippines. Let's look at the right-hand side of the graph. Growth of GDP per capita of Philippines is 4.5 times, far higher than Japan. However, far lower than lower and medium income countries like Vietnam for 44 times, Indonesia and Sri Lanka 8 times. What happened? You can think of many reasons such as exchange rate or inflation. Let's listen to the answer by Miss Liz Wiseman. Miss Liz Wiseman, author of Multipliers, said in her book that there are 2 types of leadership, multiplier and diminisher. Team members under the multiplier type of leader can perform 1.97 times more than the team members under the diminisher type of leader. She said, people are often overworked and underutilized. This is not the responsibility of employees, but the responsibility of us, the management. I feel that most of the Japanese employees have been working so hard, but not being able to contribute to GDP growth, unfortunately. Japanese GDP growth in the past had been supported by the hard work of employees, despite of lower labor productivity than other countries. There was a TV advertising phrase, "Can you work 24 hours a day?" sponsored by an energy drink company. I remember I worked 24 hours a day, not because of the pressure, but being motivated to work in those old days. Fortunately, I had a multiplier type of boss who led me to grow. So there was a claim that the long working hours and the strong work ethics of the Japanese unfairly boosted their international competitiveness. Japanese government tried to change this culture and hope to improve labor productivity by reducing work hours and introducing work-life balance. After many years, average work hours in Japan per employee has been reduced dramatically. However, the labor productivity kept in the same level. or even declining from year 2007, as you can see this graph. How about Philippines? I don't know. But it is also same in the academic world in Japan. Let us look at the academic side of the competitiveness. According to the NISTEP website, in terms of the top 10% referred papers, China became the top with 54,000 papers, or accounting for 29%. The second to the fourth place have been in the same order, except China. United States, United Kingdom, and Germany. Japan's position kept declining. Japan has fallen behind Iran, ranking 13th with only 2% share from 6% share at 2000. This is in relation to the right-hand side of the new natural science doctoral numbers as similar trend. So I guess the productivity or motivation in both sides is declining, kept declining in Japan. So people need to be kept motivated. How can we do this? Multiplier can make them productive or forward higher edge of education. My answer is to keep developing multiplier as a system. If company realize the importance of multiplier, company or even universities need to change their evaluation system. Instead of giving good evaluation to a superstar, but to a multiplier who keeps developing talents under him or her. A superstar may not be a super coach, but a super coach can develop superstars one after another. Then we should be able to fill the gap. Please ask yourself whether your leadership or your team leaders is multiplier type or diminisher type. So the assumption of diminisher is they will never figure this out without me. Multiplier is different. People who are smart and will figure this out. Then behavior is so much different. Diminisher use their talent, the subordinate talent, but the multiplier try to develop the team members' talent. And diminisher blame if his subordinates make mistakes, just blame. But multiplier explore or encourage to learn from the mistakes. Then diminisher tell the direction by himself, and the multiplier ask his or her team members or challenge them to set up a higher goal. And diminisher, of course, make own decision, and the multiplier consult for their members to make good decisions. And then diminisher control everything by micromanaging. Multiplier support his or her team member to achieve the goal. So these are the difference between the multiplier and diminishers. So I would like to develop multiplier type of leaders in Japan in order for Japan to regain competitiveness. I'm hoping to work together with, if you agree, you guys. and to develop multipliers, and Japanese GDP per capita and Philippine GDP per capita will be 2 times more, since I believe that human capabilities are limitless. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Mannari-san. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you very much as well to our Phoenix President, Toti Bingzon, and the Phoenix Week Committee officers, Mignon Ramos, Kai Reyes, and Riza Torre for presenting the token of appreciation to our distinguished guests. It was certainly good to learn about the catalytic developments around the world, bilateral cooperation with Japan, but more importantly, the IAFEI opportunities for collaboration and learning, given the structure of collaboration we already have with FINEX and the international bodies it represents. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have for our closing keynote the address today by the President of Shell, President and CEO of Shell Pilipinas Corporation. Ms. Lorelie Quaimbao Osial, also known as IQ, is a distinguished global leader in the energy industry with over 25 years of experience across various countries, managing diverse teams through complex environments. Since 2019, LQ has served as Shell's Vice President for Global Finance Operations Expenditure, overseeing the digital transformation and managing critical processes for Shell businesses in over 50 countries. In December 2021, she became the first woman to hold 3 positions in Shell Philippines: as country chair, as president and CEO of Shell Pilipinas Corporation, and president and CEO of Pilipinas Shell Foundation. LQ is known for her resilient leadership, fostering an inclusive and motivated workforce, and making significant contributions to the energy sector and social development in the Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lorelie Quaimbao Osial, or LQ.
Good afternoon, everyone. Is everyone still awake? I think Miss Margot earlier said they were standing between you and happy hour. I think that's me, standing between you and happy hour. So it is really an honor to be here this afternoon, standing in front of you, I think united in shaping the future of the finance profession and Philippine progress. I guess before I proceed, I'd like to acknowledge Mr. Toti Bengzon, the president of FINEX, the lovely ladies, Marica Reyes and Riza La Torre. And I'd also like to acknowledge the Shell folks. We have Ray Avilo, he's the head of the Ways and Means Committee today. In Shell, he is a rock and a rock star. And then I also have the members of my global team here. I think between that table, they are the men and women in capes. So amongst them, there are over 1,000 people reporting to them around the world, and they drive daily operational excellence. And they actually lead some of the things that I am sponsoring when I talk later about digital. So it's good to have friendly faces, and it's good to have great participation from Shell today. So I guess as we come close to this year's FINEX conference, I really want to take a moment to share my reflections on the powerful message of this year's theme: empower progress, inspire change, transformational growth through sustainability, diversity, and digitalization. So at the end of 2019, one of my colleagues, who was another VP, he had 2,500 people working for him. And having gone through a year to an 18-month-long reorganization, he stood at the Christmas party and he said, after our reorganization, 2020 will be the year of stability. So we all know what happened after that. And he has never uttered those words ever since. And so have we all in the same leadership team. And gone are the days where change had a beginning and an end. I think some of you might be too young to remember those days. But when I started my career, that was it. You had an unfreeze, freeze, a change, and then after that, you had disruption and then you stabilize. Disruption and you stabilize. That is no longer the case. But if you look back, conditions for accelerated change have been building up for years. And it was catapulted during the pandemic, creating a new reality where change is faster, continuous, and ubiquitous. Our current landscape now demands an opportunity and the urgent need for transformation and inclusive growth through sustainability, diversity, and digitalization. So if you think about these three things, growth, inclusion, and sustainability, it is often framed as a trilemma or something that requires trade-off. If you do one, you have to give up the other. And I do think we need a mindset change on that, for us to think about the three as an and not as an or, a paradox rather than a trilemma. So we need paradoxical thinking because we need all the three parts of the equation to work. This year, Shell celebrates 110 years of strong legacy in the Philippines as a partner of nation building. Our strategy is called Powering Progress. And the strategy is to profitably transition to become a net zero emissions energy business by 2050 while generating value for our shareholders, customers, and the wider society. And as we move forward in this journey, we will power lives and we will respect nature while maintaining our core values of honesty, integrity, and respect for people. Shell's purpose to power progress together by providing more and cleaner energy solutions. And to do that, we use advanced technologies and take an innovative approach to provide the ever-changing needs of our customers today and help build a sustainable future for tomorrow. Now, I spoke about powering lives. Part of powering lives for us is our goal on diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is quite a bold one, to become one of the most diverse and inclusive organizations in the world. Because we believe the richness of experience will make us a stronger company and will help us innovate for the future and serve our customers better. Diversity is the rich combination of the differences, that make each of us unique. Equity is the level playing field by removing barriers, creating an environment where you remove barriers to opportunity. And inclusion is embracing the uniqueness in each one of us and creating a space where everyone is valued. So to simplify, diversity is being invited to the party, inclusion is being asked to dance, equity is rotating the playlist. And if I had to add belonging there, it is being asked to freely dance however you want. At Shell Pilipinas, we've embraced this in our E Babae Kasi campaign, which aims to actually break down the stigma surrounding female drivers in the Philippines. This movement and other programs we have in Pilipinas Shell Foundation have created a platform for women to take control of our journeys on the road and in life. It is an effort not just to address stereotypes, but also to elevate the role of women in society and in industries that are traditionally male-dominated. And through initiatives like this, we aim to empower women to fearlessly lead and inspire change. Beyond gender, because I do think we have to go beyond gender. We have other examples. So we have actually expanded our 8-week parental leave to include both genders. So even non-birthing parents can get 8 months leave, whether as a new offspring, having a new child, adoptive or surrogate, and it applies to all employees, regardless of gender, gender identity, sexual orientation, and marital status. It is to allow our employees who are parents to be there in the moments that matter and take part and participate in caregiving. We also have a voluntary self-ID that helps us understand employee representation and the diversity, which includes unique experiences and challenges that our employees may face. We've started participating in an internship program with neuroatypical students, and meanwhile, we have a workplace accessibility program that enables employees with disabilities to perform by providing them with office-based workplace adjustments due to an accessibility need. I do think when you talk about diversity, we really need to think about the three things. Again, an equation: diversity, equity, and inclusion. And when we think about diversity, then we should look at both the demographic or the visible differences, but then also the cognitive part, how people differentiate when it comes to viewing risks and viewing opportunities. If I speak about sustainability and relate that to the strategy, sustainability is at the heart of Powering Progress, and therefore it seeks to embed in our strategy sustainability. Therefore, it becomes part of the business process, and it becomes part of decision-making. You cannot hold that in isolation. You cannot hold that disjoint from the strategy. So we seek an integrated approach. And it is in a number of things: in the products we sell, in how we operate, and how we work with our local communities. So in the products we sell, designing and having fuels on the market that restores 100% engine performance, or having a fuel that enhances fuel economy, with that fuel saving up to 1.6 liters per full tank on average. It's the same with our carbon-neutral lubricants, our first synthetic motor oil lubricants. It's the bitumen fresh air on the roads that has 40% less carbon emissions, and actually smells better. It smells like Downy. And it's also the EV charging stations that we have, the carbon offsets, the environmental solutions that we've entered into, and the renewable power generation in terms of how we operate. So in our sites, ensuring that our sites have LED lights, green walls, solar panels, rain catchers. We're using non-harmful paint. And also upcycling. So the lubricants bottles that we have, that's shredded, mixed with cement, they form eco-bricks, and we use them as fences, as pavements in our sites, but also in the fence line communities where we operate in. And that approach is the same in how we work with our local communities. So Shell Pilipinas Foundation is on its 42nd year in the country. So in 1982, I'm trying to scan who were born before 1982, who were born after 1982. So in 1982, we started with 20 out-of-school youth. And in the last over 40 years, we have many, many programs that have touched livelihood, education, health, environment, energy, and nutrition and food security. And I'm quite pleased, actually, when going through the agenda, that those were also the topics that were discussed in the conference this week. And I can say that from 20 scholars in 1982, we now have 16 million beneficiaries. And we want to keep going. I'll touch on two projects. One is the malaria eradication, which we have been working on for 20 years. Together with the Department of Health and the Global Fund. And since that day, we have reduced deaths and instances of malaria in the Philippines by 95%. The Philippines is now on its way to be malaria-free by 2030. If I talk about the Roots to Shoots program, where we worked with 13 barangays in Camarines Sur, after a 3-year program, we have managed to reduce stunting and wasting by 25 to 30% in those barangays. And now other foundations, such as the Metrobank Foundation, Bloomberry Foundation, are replicating the same approach. I'm actually pleased to also sit in the board of Kain Tayo and work with different private companies and different sectors on our big dilemma on nutrition and food security. So if I look at sustainability, my reflection is that one, it has to be part of your strategy, but at the same time, you have to bring with you the entire organization. This year marks our third Sustainability Week. I'm really proud to say that we're the first shell country in Asia to put a focus on having a Sustainability Week. And since that time, we've increased awareness, understanding, the buy-in, ideation from employees, and we've also increased the number of partners that are outside of Shell when we come together every week, and we want to keep going. At the beginning of this talk, I spoke about the accelerated pace of change. One of the biggest drivers of that is technological advancement. So I recall during the pandemic, Satya Nadella, the Microsoft CEO, and he said, I think it was 2020 or 2021, I mean, some of you might know better. He actually said, we've seen 2 years worth of digital transformation in 2 months. And that was the day there were 200 million participants joining Microsoft Teams. If you look at ChatGPT had 1 million users in 5 days. That's 70 days faster than Instagram. Instagram hit 1 million 75 days. 2 months later, ChatGPT had 100 million monthly users, and as of last month, ChatGPT had over 200 million weekly users. Technology has been advancing, interconnectivity, integration, and adoption has also been picking up. So although digitalization is not new, then technology has become faster. It's also actually getting cheaper. And the amount of data, as I said, and connectivity is increasing exponentially. So for Shell, the latest generation of digital technologies, we look at it as part of our digital strategy, and that will help us drive cost efficiency, increase productivity, provide new revenue opportunities, and actually optimize our business models. If you look at the face of continuing economic uncertainty, if you look at the ever-increasing regulatory requirements, ongoing new and I guess long drawn out geopolitical events, the expectation for finance has never been higher. In 2024, if you look at the 2024 Hackett CFO agenda, key issue studies at the beginning of the year, it is not surprising that margin improvement protection tops the enterprise priority of this year. To address this, businesses have emphasized strategies around working capital optimization, process efficiencies, process automation, and actually reducing spend. So CFOs globally, in a survey at the beginning of the year, have been talking about slowing spending. And finance, like the rest of the enterprise at large, needs deliberate, sustainable approach to optimizing costs, rather than let's tighten our belts this year, and next year it will be better. Again, gone are those days. But one area was quite interesting for me, because while I guess the technology budget had cuts, but not as much or as deep as other cost items, the budget for generative AI actually increased, and it is expected to increase this year. And that is why it is critical for finance leaders to understand the potential of AI for finance and assess their readiness for our function, including data, governance, ethics, and processes. Because although adoption is still maturing at this stage, AI has huge promise, with rapid advancements and widespread integration into a wide array of different systems. Digital transformation for finance is challenging, it is exciting, and it is game-changing. And it will play a key role in totally transforming the way we work. I mean, we've put together, in Shell, we've put together a digital finance strategy to complement the enterprise-wide digital strategy. Now, if you look at a strategy, it is a roadmap, and in every roadmap, you begin with the outcome in mind. And we said we have defined 3 outcomes for the finance digital strategy in Shell. 1, faster and better decision-making. 2, fitter and faster operations. And 3, ability to scale up operating models. Leveraging core technology or machine learning, data analytics, and AI. It's about being able to remove and eliminate repetitive tasks, or tasks where employees are stitching data together, or taking out data. You saw the platform, the system universe earlier. Taking raw data that does not mean anything. It is about taking the robot out of the human and letting the human do what it best does. Cognitive abilities, looking at creative thinking, looking at enhanced problem solving, and critical thinking. It is about being able to respond to changing regulations in one go and adapt to changes much faster with a better control environment. Embracing digital with more real-time data, not monthly, not weekly, not daily, but real-time data in a better control environment. If you look at a lot of data finance processes in terms of what it looks today, I mean, it can be described as one, descriptive, meaning what happened, to probably diagnostic to a certain extent in terms of how it happened. And where we want to bring it, is to be predictive, what can happen, and eventually prescriptive, what should happen, and what should we do. It is about more accurate data, touchless processing and reporting, coming from multiple interfaces and coming from where we are today on multiple interfaces and having a lot of manual handling. It is about providing a consumer-grade experience for our employees. I mean, making finance roles more interesting, and dare I say, in a room full of finance people, making our roles more fun. So, preparing for this talk, I had to look at the digital change projects I have been involved in one way or another in the last 4 years, and it has been accelerating. And today, I think the last 4 years until today, I have been involved in over 120 digital change projects around the world, from once-in-a-generation ERP changes, from ERP enhancements, process mining, data mining, machine learning, RPAs, data visualization, AI, Gen AI. Even we have a thing called Do IT Yourself, where we democratize evolution or transformation by giving frontliners access to low-code, low-cost automation and give them support, which reinforces operational excellence and that culture of transformation as well. I think these are some of my reflections through that journey. I think one, the digital journey does not have to be laborious. You have the big ERP changes. But if you look at Microsoft Copilot or your mobile apps, you attend a meeting, and if it's not confidential, have it transcribed. Within 5 seconds, you get the minutes of the meeting, you get the actions of every single person who attended that meeting. So to a certain extent, there's also the personal aspect of that transformation journey on looking at what's in front of you, what's on your device, what is on your desk. The second reflection for me is that the digital journey is beyond technology, because maximizing the value of the tech will require a profound change in mindset and the ways of working. And this will require building capability, upskilling, not just on tech skills, but also critical thinking. Design thinking was mentioned earlier, enhanced problem solving, change and engage, visual storytelling. So it's not just investing in technology, it's investing in people. It's investing in human capital. Yeah. I also see the added value of D&I, yeah? Because having gone through multiple teams, I can say that in my experience, where I have the most diverse team and a space where they are valued, those projects have the best outcomes. Having a learner's mindset will be key, and it's very important. So learner's mindset or growth mindset. I think this is key. And it is very important to create psychological safety where people can ideate, share their thoughts, and this can be quite scary. Yeah? I think there's also a cultural aspect of this from our own context. Giving the people the ability to be able to experiment, learn fast, fail fast, providing challenge, but also being supportive through change or when things go wrong. Embracing learnings from anything. I mean, you can learn from anything, both successes, not just from successes, but also from the failures as well. These days, no one has an answer for everything. But this is also about unleashing potential that we have not yet seen. And I see this audience having a critical role driving innovation, embracing technology, and transforming the way we work to unleash that potential. And this will be to allow finance to stay ahead in a rapidly changing world where we are able to meet the challenges of today and set ourselves up for future success. So I guess in closing, it's very clear, at least to me, that the integration of sustainability, diversity, and digitalization are key to transforming not only our industries, but also our communities. The environment we have today is ever-changing, increasingly complex. It is up to us to empower progress, inspire change, and also to really propel forward the finance profession. It is about being able to work together and balancing economic growth with environmental stewardship. This is about being able to navigate in a world of trilemmas and employ paradox thinking, which is the mindset to accept and live with tensions associated with competing demands. If you look at health, competing demands on accessibility and affordability. With energy, it's the same. Reliability of energy, affordability, and less carbon emissions. Most of us are dealing with trilemmas, which I think more and more should be thought about as paradoxes. So this is about all of us as well, embracing learner's mindset, which I mentioned earlier. And this is really the belief that people's abilities can continue to grow. And this is the mindset to view new experiences, setbacks, and unknowns as important opportunities for growth. Private entities and government institutions alike must work hand in hand to embrace digital transformation, creating ecosystems where technology amplifies efficiency, drives growth, and opens doors for new opportunities. So I would like to thank the organizers again, because earlier that's what happened on stage, yeah? With representatives from the private sector and the government coming together and committing to work together. A thriving society is where everyone, regardless of gender, background, or identity, has equal opportunities to succeed. Diversity is key because not all of our problems have a known solution yet. So we need different kinds of thinking. We need diversity, equity, and inclusion to unlock innovation. And again, public and private sectors will need to create environments where diversity is nurtured, because an inclusive workforce fuels creativity and drives progress. So do not underestimate the power and the impact that each of you have to lead the way, inspire change, and build a thriving, sustainable future together. And you need to remember that the future can only be sustainable if it is equitable as well. This is something we need to do, not just for our generation, but for the generations to come. Thank you so much for giving me a part of your time today.
Please stay on stage.
Okay. Do I need to go?
Yes, please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Lorelie, for the closing keynote, and more importantly, for setting a horizon all of us can reach out for especially through partnerships to empower change and inspire progress. We have Toti Bengzon, of course, and our Phoenix Week officers here to present an award. But thank you very much again for your leadership. And it's also for Shell for doing this since 1914, for over 110 years now, in terms of setting the foundations for growth, inclusion, diversity, and progress. Another round of applause first for Lorelie, LQ, Osial, Quaimbao. Sorry, of course. Thank you again, Lorelie, Quaimbao, Osial, and Shell Filipinas Corporation for your wonderful sponsorship and your leadership that you've established here since 1914. Now, to formally close today's program, may I now call on the co-chair of this year's Phoenix Week Committee, Ms. Riza Latorre.
Okay. Good afternoon, or I should say good evening. Good evening na, alas 6 na. So before we put this session to an end, can I request everyone to give our speakers, our panelists, our moderator a big round of applause? Woohoo! Yes, so we're more than 50% pa tayo na nandito. It has been, I believe you will agree with me that when I say that this has been a very successful conference. So it's been a long day and even a longer week, so I will keep my closing sweet and short. Now, so as we close this 56th FINEX Week conference, allow me to thank the wonderful men and women behind this FINEX Week conference. So let me start first with the leadership of FINEX, to our president, Mr. Toti Bengzon, and to the board of directors of FINEX. Thank you so much for trusting Kai and myself leading FINEX Week this year. I would also like to thank our liaison director, Ms. Mignon Ramos, for the patience, for the guidance, for everything, Migs. So it has been, for context, for those who do not know, the preparation for FINEX Week lasts for months. So we started, was it January, March? So yeah, thank you, Migs, for the patience. And I would like to thank my co-chair, Ms. Kai Reyes, also for the patience, for the leadership. It's very encouraging, and for the trust you've given me and choosing me to be your co-chair. And of course, there are a lot of men and women behind the scenes now who worked with us. Our best fundraiser, the rock in the, what do you call that? The rock in the rock star. So Mr. Ray Abelo of Ways and Means, together with the team. Sorry, I can't, wait, let me just find my notes. There you go, so I won't miss anybody in the team. There you go. Okay, so together with Ray, of course, leading the Ways and Means is Miss Nikki Tan. Okay, together with him, or with her, is Aldi Garcia, Mai Bisnar, and Jing Arellano. Thank you so much. I think we broke the records this year. Am I right? Am I right, Mike? We broke the records this year for FINEX Week. Thank you also to Jessie Carpio and April Tan, in charge of the technical program. So they were the ones who curated the topics, the themes from day one up to today. Thank you so much. We also want to thank our publications and promotions, Ms. Blanca Mercado and Paolo Azurin. And of course, the one who chose this place, curated, chose the food that we ate for the whole day. Thank you, Janice, for we had some healthy and delicious food today. And of course, it's party time, guys. So we hope to see you at the Phoenix Night, prepared by our team, JM Pabiton, Joel Dabao, Tin San Juan, and Manolo Ramos. Okay, last but not the least, the very hardworking Phoenix Week Secretariat led by Mike, Minluan, Aljon, Jeff. Guys, you're the best. Maylene, Lynn, and everyone, the best team ever. So thank you so much. And to all the participants who joined us from day one, either in person or online, and all of you who are still here right now, thank you so much for joining us. And our only ask in Phoenix Week is that all the investments in time, effort, and resources will not be put in vain. We hope that all the knowledge and inspiration we've gained since Monday will be applied and put into action to our respective fields. Together, let us empower progress, inspire change, and drive transformational growth through sustainability, diversity, and digital transformation. So binago ko na yung theme, no? Kasi sabi ni Yusek kanina, digitalization, digital transformation. But it must begin with us, as individual, as parent, as member of the community, as business person, as community leader, as member of Phoenix. As Mahatma Gandhi once said, let us be the change we want to see in the world. It's party time! Woo! So let's have a recap of what happened today by watching our audio-visual presentation. And of course, thank you for reminding me, Migs. Thank you so much to our rockstar host, Quintin. Thank you. Woohoo! All right, again, let's review. Let's have a recap of today's event by watching our audio-visual presentation prepared by our team. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's just as a postscript, the same day edit is going to take a few more minutes. But just as just a bit of an invitation also, the Narrow Hall is just down the road. We have Phoenix Night. Everybody is invited. And at the end of the day, you're going to have a wonderful celebration. All the items that you want to ask, collaborate on, synthesize, and work on together, we can continue that over a wonderful dinner and drinks before we start crowning the weekend. So with that, thank you very much for everything. This is your host, Quintin Pastrana. Congratulations again to everybody on Phoenix Week. And let's all have a wonderful, empowered, digitally empowered, transformed economy together. Thank you very much.
Next week, committee on stage, please. Thank you. We invite the FINEX Week Committee on stage, please. Take your place. Ladies and gentlemen.
Guys.
Hindi pa ako naka-dress code. Mag-be the perfume.
Oo nga eh. Galing pa kasi ako ng tayo kakanta, pare. Oo nga, may SP. May SP.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, good morning and welcome to the final day of the 56th FINEX Week 2024.
Welcome to the 56th FINEX Week Conference. This year's overarching theme is Empower Progress, Inspire Change, Transformational Growth through Sustainability, Diversity, and Digitalization.
This has been a remarkable week, filled with thought leadership, innovation, and collaboration as we explored the pillars